Hey everybody, welcome back to Exploring Temecula. In today's video, we are doing our monthly market report for Menifee, Murrieta, and Temecula for the month of September. I've said this before, if you're going to watch one video and you're a homeowner or looking to purchase a home, this is the video that you need to watch monthly. I don't pretend to know what's going to happen in the future, but what you can do is look at trends straight from the MLS to see what is actually happening in the last month, 2 months, 3 months of the current housing market, so you can make more educated decisions on what you would want to do in the future. If you're interested in Temecula, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We do a bunch of videos about not only Temecula, but the surrounding area. We have a home search in every single one of the descriptions now. And if you're looking for an accurate home value, we're not only a brokerage, but we're a licensed appraisal company, so you can reach out for that as well. Appreciate all the support, and let's get into the video. Okay, so here we are back in the MLS for September's housing numbers. For the people that have not seen these videos before, I switched it up. I used to only do Temecula, but now I've added Murrieta and Menifee for a couple reasons. First of all, we service these cities. And number two, I wanted a larger sample size. I just don't feel that it's as accurate just having one city. I like having a lot of southern Riverside County to pull from, so we can just see if something is happening in one city but not the other two, vice versa. And I just, again, feel that it's a little more accurate with a bigger sample size. I don't really stipulate anything up here for the simple fact that I just want to give you guys an overall feel of the real estate market. So we're not picking single family homes or certain amount of bedrooms or bathrooms. Sometimes I'll talk about pool homes. Just real quick, pool homes are substantially higher than just regular single family residents without pools over the last year. I've never really seen this happen in the real estate market. For some reason, people are going crazy over pools. If you have a pool and a view over the last year, you're sitting on a gold mine. So as you can see down here, I'm only going to go 3 years back. No point in going 5. I don't hit on every single one of these tabs, just the main 4 or 5 that I feel are important, and then I'll explain what they are, and then also how they may or may not affect you. First of all, new listings. Of course, there's nothing a lot to see here. I do like just to see the trends because of the supply and demand issues that we've had over the last 5 years really in Southern California. But as you can see, there's always going to be a dip from November, December, January, and you're going to see this trend continue down, and then by next spring or next January, when's the last month? December, by next January, you're going to see this go up again. So, does this really matter, in my opinion, for people watching this? Not really, but just wanted to give you an idea of there are less listings in these coming months than there are in the spring. Now, if you're buying a home, sometimes because there's less listings, but there's also less buyers. So sometimes the competition is a little less. Now, in this year or this case, that might change a little because you've had a lot of buyers on the sidelines or not getting offers accepted for many, many months. So they're still waiting and waiting. So we could see still a large number of buyers trying to purchase properties November, December, and January of this year because they haven't been able to be successful in their home search. Number 2, active listings. Why do I talk about active listings? Well, one of the biggest reasons I like to show the active listings is because active listings are what is actually showing active at the end of the month on the MLS. And as you can see, from December of 2020, when it was really at its lowest, and you go to September of 2021, there has been a small uptrend or uptick in the active listings especially over the last 3 to 4 months. Why do I think this is happening? I think that sellers, I don't want to say greedy, but they're trying to play off the market, and they're listing their homes for more than what the market's actually bearing, and they've pushed too far. And I'm seeing it on the MLS. If you are not listing your property at the correct market value, or you don't have a home that is above and beyond the rest, as I mentioned before, pool view, it's going to sit on the market as of right now. And this is what this graph is really showing to me, is that the sellers that have decided to sell over the last month or two, and they've really tried to get that new high in the community, and they only have an average home, they're just not getting it. Okay, so next up, really important chart here, and that's days on the market. As you can see, since September of 2020, when this all started, the average day on market, or days on market, has been 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, which in my opinion is pretty crazy, considering that most people list their home on a Thursday. They have offers at 1 or 2 or 3 days, but they don't decide on an offer till Monday. So this data right here is skewed a little for the simple fact that even though they might have solid offers in 1 or 2 days, they're not accepting and going to escrow and putting the house pending till Monday, Tuesday, or even Wednesday of the following week. But it's still showing that if you list your property and you list it where it's not out of reality in this market, you can expect to sell and close your property within 40 days of you listing it on the open market. Nothing's really changed. September, 8, 7 days, still extremely low, especially when you're comparing it. Look at these averages before this. 35 days on the market. Look at this. 35 in Temecula, 50 in Murrieta, and 51 days. That's average. So we've gone from January of 2019, we've gone from February of 2020 with it being 35, 32, 35 days in the market, all the way and sustained 5 or 6 days for 6 or 7 months. Pretty crazy. And, just wanted to go back 5 years just to show you. The closest we've ever been to this stretch right here is in 2018 and 2017, and that was only for a small amount of time, 1 or 2 months, and we're still double the amount of days on the market back then as we are or have been for the last 6 months. So pretty crazy to see days on market, and it's obviously an important thing to look at. Next off, the percentage of the original list price, and this is where I got into, guys, about listing your property and pushing the value, pushing your number that you want. I know it doesn't seem much, and you see a huge drop off. People were getting in July of 2021 105%, 104% of the original list price, and you might not think 3 or 4% is that much. But when you're talking about a $500,000 or $600,000 home, that could be $30,000 or $40,000 above what you're originally listed the home as on average. This is an average. So it really has taken, you don't see, it's gone from 104 to 101. Let's just call that the number. And you say, oh, that's really, they're still getting above what they actually listed for on average. And yes, they are. But as I mentioned before, with with the 5% over list price, now when you see this drop and it drops 3% on a $600,000 home, that's on average around $18,000. That people are getting less from what they originally listed for. So in my opinion, that's a pretty strong and pretty substantial number to think that, I could list my home and be on the high side a little bit at $600,000, and I'm getting, I'm closing escrow at anywhere between $580 and $585 this last month. So another important, thing to look at is, percentage of original list price. finally, sales price. As you can see here, guys, I mentioned this in a couple of my previous videos. Until I see this 3 to 4 months in a row, the downturn on each city, I'm not going to put too much weight. All 3 cities last month went down in regards to median sales price. Now, Murrieta has gone down 2 consecutive months, but Menifee and Temecula have only gone down, 1 consecutive month in regards to median sales price. When I start seeing this and this trend going for 3 to 4 months or even flattening out, that's when, in my opinion, you might be seeing the top of this market. As of right now, I don't want to make that call, and I could be wrong even when this happens 2 or 3 months. Then we hit, January, February, because of the market and because of the, the months and when people are actually looking and listing. This could be a sign of just what month we're in. We're slowing down. I could see this for 2 or 3 months dip or stay even, and then we could have next spring hit and it goes up from there. So I want to be very clear. I'm not here to, tell you what's going to happen in the market. I really don't think anybody knows. All I can do is sit here and give you the charts, and you can make a decision on what you think is going to happen. But if you can't read it, the average median sales price in Temecula for September was $680. The median sales price in Murrieta was $581, and the median sales price in Menifee is $500. So if you're purchasing a home, make sure you understand that really out of these 3 markets, Menifee is going to be obviously the option, for the least expensive homes. The one big downside I would say to Menifee, would be the school districts if you have kids. But Murrieta would be your second best option, and both Murrieta and Temecula, as I state in many of the videos I do, have great school districts. So there you have it, guys. September's market update. Hopefully that helps, and thanks for tuning in. Okay, guys, so there you have it. September's market report. Be interesting to see what's going to happen down the line in the next few months. Just keep in mind that, October, November, December, especially November, December, January, are historically slower months in the real estate market. So it's going to be hard to gauge, exactly what's going on. But, for me, it's going to be interesting next spring to see what happens with the home prices and what actually happens with the local housing market. Thanks again, and see you in a few days.